So you and Gabby and Caitlin have started 131 games together. Can you just talk a little bit about that connection and just what it means to be in the Sweet 16?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Like, previous to this year, we had the same starting five for 3 years, and obviously me, Gabby, and Caitlin were part of that. And it's just like really special to, kind of have that team chemistry and kind of know what each other's going to do. We can play off of each other. We know, how to build each other up while also giving, some constructive criticism to each other. And we know that we have each other's best interests in mind. And so that's super special for us. And then we're, a senior-led group. And, I think that's really important in March Madness and, throughout the entire year. But right now especially, we don't want to go home. We want to extend our season as long as possible. So we're really just playing to win right now, and we're just trying to enjoy every moment together.
How much is that game against Colorado last year helping you guys prepare for this game this season? Because there's a lot of familiar faces over there.
Definitely. They have a very similar roster, so that definitely helps with scouting, and they run a very similar offense to what they did last year. 80% of their offense last year is the same as it is this year, so that definitely helps, when scouting. But obviously they fine-tune their game. Players are different. They've gotten better from last year, but I think it helps both teams in a sense. They're gonna, know what's best to guard us, and we're gonna know what's best to guard them. So we're really looking forward to having another matchup against them.
Sydney said that they're pretty excited. She got the impression that Colorado's excited to face off against you guys. Is that what you're feeling too?
I haven't seen anything. I stay off the socials, so I don't know. But I think it seems like a lot of people are always excited to play us every year or every game. So I don't know.
How are you going to handle the post situation? The two 6'3" kids.
Yeah, they've got a good inside game, but we just kind of have to deal with that. I think we're going to mix up defenses. We'll go zone, we'll go man, we'll switch it up a little bit, and so hopefully that can get them out of rhythm. And whenever we're playing, different defenses, and we're getting stops, and no matter what defense we're in, that really helps us. So we're just gonna have to be physical down there, and we're definitely gonna have to box out. That's really important for us.
Okay, Colorado talked a lot about playing with emotion.
Okay.
What's your approach to playing with emotion?
I play with passion. Sometimes playing with emotion, that can lead you to, doing things, saying things that you don't mean, or, getting out of your own, game. So, I think we're a passion-led group, and, I don't know, for them, that's good for them. I'm excited that they're doing that. I don't know.
Does it help at all that they played Drake the first round of the tournament? Is that a game you're looking to with your familiarity?
Yeah, that definitely helps. I think looking at any games that they've played, we're going to watch all the film that we can. But, yeah, since we've played Drake so many times and we're familiar with their defense and their style, that definitely helps knowing, some familiarity with them.
Is there anything that we can do after watching so many fans where you kind of have a second to take it and be like, oh wow, this almost came to an end. Like, you guys were 2 minutes from, I know right when the game happens, but there wasn't anything in there.
Yeah,
wow, that was close.
No, that I never felt that way. I never felt we were going to lose that game. I never felt like it was, coming down to the wire. Obviously it was a close game, tied with 5 minutes to go, but I think that's always a really tough game for us to get, to the Sweet 16, and they're a really good team. They played really well, so I never, you can't be playing and thinking like, we could lose, because then, you're playing not to lose instead of playing to win. So that entire game we were just playing to win.
What do you think of the increased viewership on women's basketball from this year to last year? Even though last year's women's championship game was very highly viewed, but now it's even bigger this year. So what is it like being able to play, especially on a team like Iowa?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so awesome to see how women's sports have really grown in the past couple of years, and to be a part of that is something so special. And to be that role model to little girls and little boys even that look up and are watching women play is so exciting. And I'm just so glad I get to be part of this, and I think it's a really fun time for women's sports right now.
Is there any added pressure knowing that there's even more eyes on you than ever?
No, I think pressure really is a privilege, and I'm so lucky to be in the position I am. And I can't think of being on a better team or playing for a better program than Iowa, and I'm just so excited to play another game with these girls.
If there's a team that you would pay to watch that's left in the tournament, which team would you pay to watch? If you can't, and it can't be Iowa.
I'd say probably UCLA or South Carolina.
Why? Why UCLA? UCLA is the first one I've heard, actually.
Yeah, I think the way they play, I really like their game for sure, and I think they play together, and they have a lot of great players on their team, so I would love to get a chance to watch them play or even play them. So
Thank you.
So what are things looking like with Colorado? I mean, is it a familiar team that you guys saw last year? Any major differences, or is this kind of the same team that you feel like you guys saw last season?
Yeah, I think they definitely do have a lot of familiar faces for sure, and I know they're pretty excited to play us, and we're excited to get out there. It'll be a super competitive game, and I think they have a lot of familiar faces with a couple of their shooters and their point guard, and we even played Maddie Nolan when she was at Michigan, so there's a lot of familiar faces, and we're excited to get out there.
What makes you say that they're excited to play you? Have you heard some chatter from them, or what?
I've heard around that they're pretty excited to play us, but also just I truly think that every team we play has given us their best shot, and that honestly helps us more than anything in postseason play, so we're excited.
What do you remember about last year's game with them?
I remember it was super competitive, super chippy, and they like to push and transition. Their point guard is super fast, and she's a tough player. She's a great defender as well. I definitely remember her. And then their shooter, number 3, Frida, she had a great first half against us last year, and then we kept her under a little bit in the second half, which was good. But just knowing those two, I remember them a lot from last year, and they played super well.
The game against West Virginia was not the way that your guys' games usually go. Tough game that you guys had to grind out. After you guys got a few days to look back on the game, what were the thoughts from the game and how you guys were able to win it?
Yeah, I think that was probably the best defense that I've seen since I've been playing here for sure. They were a great team and a great defensive team as well. And I think that they really flustered our offense a little bit, but I think that honestly really helps us, and we were able to rely on our defense a little bit more than usual, so that was exciting to see, and I think we really stayed together down the stretch, and that was super important, and I'm just glad to be one of the 16 teams left.
Colorado's going to be another pretty physical team. I think they had 3 people foul out in last year's game. How important is it to get that West Virginia game where you see some really tough physical defense before another one tomorrow?
Yeah, I think, like I said, everyone truly has given us their best shot, and everyone wants to beat us more than anything. So I think that we're gonna get everyone's best game, and having West Virginia play their defense that we just played was super important. I think that really prepares us for Colorado, and I think they are a great defensive team. But yeah, I think that just helps us more than anything in postseason play.
All right. Addie, so just tell me about Colorado playing this team again. You guys saw them last year. I mean, does that help having that kind of familiarity, or it sounds like they've got pretty much all starters that you guys have seen before?
Yeah, we are pretty familiar with each other. I mean, that works in their favor too, but I think it's good that we had the opportunity to play against them because it's a little bit different style than what we play in the Big Ten, but having that game last year is really helpful that we can look back on that and see what we need to do better for this year.
One thing that Sydney said was that she said it sounds like they're excited to play you too.
Yes.
Have you gotten that impression from them? I don't know if you've seen tweets or something, or if they're saying something that makes it seem that way.
Yeah, I think they're excited, but I mean, if we were in that same situation, we'd be excited too, because kind of look at it as like a revenge game in a certain way, but I think we're just both really excited to play against each other, like both really good teams, and I think we all have a lot of respect for each other too, and just to get the opportunity to play against each other will be really fun.
How much did West Virginia prepare this team for this game, just because of the physicality that they had might be kind of a good warm-up to this one?
Yes, the West Virginia game was definitely a good warm-up. Their defense, Colorado's defense, is pretty similar to West Virginia. I wouldn't say it's as in your face as theirs was, but West Virginia definitely was a good warm-up game because they were probably even more aggressive defensively than Colorado will be.
Everybody's, familiarity is obviously a storyline, but how does that impact you as your prep? Is it just you're watching the film, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that, or how exactly, without over-exaggerating it, how does it make a difference in the prep?
Yeah, I think it's good that we have a game versus ourselves to go watch, because obviously you watch a lot of film against other teams playing them, but it is cool to watch you run your sets against them and see how we handle it. And I think the biggest takeaway from that game is our boxing out, because we gave up 22 offensive rebounds in that game and still found a way to win, but that was definitely something that we were focusing on this week.
How much would you say the defensive identity of this team has improved in the last couple of years? I mean, you think about the West Virginia game, if you had struggled like that offensively maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I don't think you necessarily get the defensive response. Just how much has that really been elevated the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think we all realized, like, in order to go far, we need to definitely work on our defense, and that was the last 2 or 3 off seasons since I've been here. We've really, like, not worked as much on offense because we knew that would come. Like, that's easy for our team. Working out more on defense was really an emphasis for us for the past 3 years, and obviously it helps us get further in the tournament because if we have an off night offensively, we can still rely back on our defense.
What do you remember about last year's game?
I played it. I don't remember. No, nothing much. We won. I remember that.
Coach said she's made you guys watch it.
Yeah. We have the film. I'm planning on watching it tonight, but so yeah. And I didn't really play very much in that game last year, so.
It sounds like Colorado's another physical team too, kind of like West Virginia is. Did last week's game kind of help prepare you for what you guys might see out of Colorado now?
I think, yeah, absolutely. That game prepared us for pretty much anything. I was getting thrown around a little bit. But, yeah, for sure.
You played like 36 minutes in that game after sitting out the previous game. How did the ankle or knee, kind of come out of that?
I was just doing some rehab, some needling is important for me. Yeah.
But you feel good? I mean, you feel good coming out of that with the 5 days rest or whatever you had?
I feel great.
I'm sure someone's already asked you, but just what does it mean to you to be back at the Sweet 16?
I think it's really exciting. Only 16 teams get to be here, so I'm glad that we're one of them, and hopefully we make it to the next round.
Most of the other teams back, is that something you can kind of look at and remember the things that made you successful last time and build off of that?
Yeah, I think, last year, I obviously didn't play, but it was just one of those things. It's like we have the same players kind of pretty much this year on our team and their team too. So just preparing for whatever we have to and looking at last year's film even just because they are a very similar team. And then how they've been playing this year and how they've kind of heated up over the past few games. So just reading that and then being prepared for it.
What's it like to be on this stage, having so many eyeballs on you? You know, you're playing on the number 1 seed and you're playing in the Sweet 16.
It's very, very special. I think we're all taking it in as much as we can. Aside from being locked in and focused, we're very much trying to enjoy it with each other just because the time is limited now. So we're just staying focused and doing whatever we have to.
Does it help in any way? I don't even know if there's something here, but having a mutual opponent, like they played Drake in the first round, you guys played Drake this season. I mean, does that help? Do you watch that Drake film, kind of compare it to what you guys did against Drake?
Yeah, that's actually good you asked that. I mean, whenever we watched a little bit of their film versus Drake, and even like when it comes to like play calls and stuff, we've like tried to see if we can figure it out just because we're similar. We know Drake, so it does definitely help just seeing what worked for them. And but yeah, I mean, Colorado has a good team, and it's very. I mean, like I said, we were even referencing off of last year's game just because we played them, and they have pretty much the same team. So it's kind of crazy to think about. But
Sydney made it sound like that you guys know that Colorado is looking forward to this game. That you get a feeling that they're pretty excited about this. And what is it that makes you think that they're pretty excited for this one today?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I would definitely say like going off of last year. I think that kind of pumps them up, and just that them losing that game last year, it just kind of adds a little bit more fuel. But I mean, whatever it is, we're gonna stay focused. I'm sure they're gonna stay focused, and we're just gonna be ready for whatever we have to be ready for.
Okay, so first off, I just want to hear about this rematch. It sounds like Sydney was saying that this Colorado team's pretty excited to play you guys.
I think they're pretty excited. I think everyone's pretty excited to play this, which it should be. It's a big game. We play a fun style of basketball, and you know, we've got a lot of coverage on us right now, and so a lot of eyes on us, and I think everyone should want to be a part of that. So I don't blame them. And they're going to come out firing, and they're going to come out aggressive, and so that's just something that we have to handle and know that they can't hang with us the entire time, and that we're going to be fine and stay composed and do what we do.
Does it help having a mutual opponent like Drake, a team that you guys know pretty well, that they played in the first round? I mean, is that a game that you guys really look to focus on what it is they bring to the table?
Yeah, I absolutely think so, and we know Drake's style of basketball so well. I mean, our coaches know their style of basketball so well, and been playing them for so long, and so just to kind of compare it against that and you know, watch how they defend their action versus how they'll defend ours is really ideal, actually. And so I think that was pretty helpful for us. And I of course watched that game with my sister since she's going there next year, so that was pretty exciting for our family. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, in that game you could really tell they want to push the pace, which is what we want to do, so we're okay with that, and that they'll switch up their defenses, and they run a majority of their offense out of a few sets, and so just got to be able to guard that.